Good morning. I am live and I am so excited to share this Hearts of Elegance suite with you. I am going to be creating four. Whoop, seems like I just lost some internet. Hopefully I'm back. If you love these 4 cards that I am making, you can get the kit. It is $16 plus shipping if you need me to ship it to you. All right, so let's start with what your kit is. So your kit includes all the materials you need to make the 4 cards. You're going to get 6 6x6 papers. You're going to get the heart sequins, which are amazing. And you're going to get 6 feet of trim. So that'll be enough supplies to make the 4 cards, plus you'll have extra. I am using the Hearts of Elegance bundle, which comes with these die cuts and this stamp set. So you can use this if you have it. You can use something different. If you are wanting to purchase this to go along with your kit, I would recommend you wait until Tuesday when Celebration starts, because I believe it's $50.25. And so if you spend $10 more, you also get something from Celebration. All right, so let's get started. Let me get organized here. The order that I'm going to do, I think is, I'm saving, like I'm going from my favorite to my next most favorite, all the way to my last favorite. I didn't want to say least favorite because that doesn't sound right, because I love all the cards. When you're using this Marbles of Elegance paper, it's impossible to make ugly cards, I believe. You might differ once you see the cards I made. So the first card that I'm going to make is this one. So let me find that kit. Of course, it's going to be the very last one. Ta-da! All right. So everything that you see here is what you'll have. The only thing that I can't send you in the kit is the stamped images. So you will need your ink and your stamps if you're going to follow along with me. All right. So there is a PDF tutorial that you would also receive too that tells you all the measurements. You'll be seeing, I'll be going back to my computer to get the measurements. But this is Berry Burst that I'm using. And then let's see, so you'll have all these papers, and it's interesting because they're so similar yet so unique at the same time, if that makes any sense. But it looks like I am starting with this one. So I am just going to go to my tutorial to get the measurement for it. So I'm doing 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I think I told you that that was Melon Mambo, or I mean Berry Burst, but really it's Melon Mambo. A little bit more vibrant. Okay, so then that is going to get glued right there. And if you are joining me, because I see I have some of you watching along, I'd love for you to say hi, tell me where you're from. Are you somebody that's already ordered this kit? Are you planning on ordering it? Are you just watching to case some ideas, which is totally fine too? All right, so now I'm going to layer it with this white piece. And let me get my measurements for the designer series paper that is going to go on that. It's going to be 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. And then you can look to see, like this one, if I keep this side, it's going to be a little bit more white. If I do that, it's going to be a little more Melon Mambo. I think I'm going to do more of the white. Again, this paper is so beautiful. You can't go wrong with it. And of course, I'm saving all my scraps. Hopefully you have seen some of the videos that I make with the scraps. I feel like you need to use every piece of bit of paper that you have. All right, so just a little bit of glue there, and this white cardstock is just enough to frame it. Okay, so now I'm gonna start building up. So I'm gonna get some of the thread that's, oh, hey Marge, I'm glad you could make it. Is it coming in and out for you? Because mine keeps saying it's trying to connect. So hopefully you're getting like a regular stream. I'm not sure what's happening today. All right, I'm just gonna make like a little fake bow behind it. And I want it to be a little bit bigger than my paper. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop this up over it, and that's just gonna be another layer. So this is one of the dies that comes with the bundle. Can you see the stitching in it? Like, it's so pretty. So that is included in your kit as well. I've already die cut that for you. If you haven't purchased your kit yet, I do have 2 that are ready to go out in the mail today. After those 2, I'm still waiting on my next order. So it might be like a week and a half before it goes out, just so that you know your timeline for receiving it. Okay, so now in this stamp set, it's got Happy Valentine's Day, My Heart Belongs to You, Sending Lots of Love, Be Mine. You can use whatever sentiment you want. I'm using Sending Lots of Love because I really do try and use the cards I sent, and I don't need a whole bunch of Valentine's Day cards. Just a couple will probably be enough, unless, of course, I give them to my students. Which I usually do have my students make a card. And they're so funny to watch. This year I have several that were like, can we come to some of your classes? When we made the Christmas cards, they were so excited. All right, so I'm just stamping this on a label. And this label is from something Ness. So I should have pulled that out. I don't remember the exact name. All right, I'm gonna pop this one up. Nesting labels. I don't know, it's a bunch of these in different sizes, and it has the hummingbird with it. And it has another label. I don't use that one very often, but I use these all the time. Look, that is so pretty just by itself. All right, so now I'm gonna pop this up as well. Because it's going on something that's popped up, I'm gonna put a pop dot on one side and then glue on the other. I'll just put that there. Okay, and then my favorite part, like these heart sequins. I don't know why. I have a little heart die cut, and I've been doing it on the foil to see if I can get the same look, but like, nope. I am definitely going to be purchasing more of these to keep in my stash. So, again, you'll have extra of these too. But for each card that we're making today, I think I have it that you'll be putting 3 on there, and you can decide how many. All right, so there is the first card. See, look how beautiful that is. And I told you I'm going in order from my favorite to my most favorite. Okay, so the next one that we're making is this. So I am looking for the DSP that has this on the back. So there's that sheet. And then let me pull out, I'm gonna guess it's this one. All right. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, and this just saves scraps, you don't have to do it this way, is this is gonna be 5 1/4. So I'm gonna cut 3/4 inch off one side just because that's going to maximize like a scrap that I can use later. You don't have to do this, but I want that one long strip. And look at me, it's actually going to be easier to do it this way. All right, so that now automatically makes this the correct length for my card. And let me get my exact measurements. We're gonna do 1.5 and then 2.5, and that's gonna get it to that 4 inches. So 1.5 and 2.5, and I'll add that to my scrap pile. Okay, so those will just get glued just like that. All right, so I'll go ahead and do that. So all of these, they have the marbled side on one side and then more like those neutral colors on the other side. Okay, so now from the Wildflower Designs bundle, that's where this one came from. And let me get my stamps. I'm starting to get a little messy here. This time I'm going to use my Heart Belongs to You. And I'm going to stamp that in the Melon Mambo as well. So really for all of these cards, I'm using Melon Mambo, Cherry Cobbler, and I think Bubble Bath is the only other color I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to put this towards the top, just like that. And then I'm going to use the XOXO. Like, I love this little one. If you saw the card that I made yesterday on a live, I didn't think it was one that I would ever use. And then when I saw people that were repeated it and using it as a background, it just gave me so many ideas. And we're just going to try and fit 2 of them there. And it's okay if that overlaps a little over the Melon Mambo. And because it's photopolymer, it's super easy to get it exactly where you need it. All right, so now I'm gonna just kind of do some layering over it. So this is a stamp. So we got that flower stamp. And I did give you a scratch paper in your kit for that. And I'm going to do that in Melon Mambo as well. And then this is one of the die cuts that come with the kits. I already die cut it for you, so it'll be in your kit. And if I haven't said it, you can, the link is in the comments section if you want to go ahead and register for that. All right, so just to show you, so this is the die cut that gives you this. And then there is a die cut for the flower, and it's one that's super easy to die cut, because if you're someone that die cuts a lot, you know they're not always, but it has those, I don't know, 2 ears or what I call it, so it makes it really easy to line up. That's what I look for every time. All right, I actually already have it die cut though. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this using some dimensionals. And I've lost my sheet, but that's okay. I pulled out another one. So I'm just going to put 2, 1 at each end. Like that. And then I'm going to put a dimensional here in the corner, and then just kind of layer it up. And then same thing in the heart. I'm going to put it on one corner. Okay, and then put this ink away before I drag something through it. All right, now with this gold thread, again, in the kit, you've got 6 feet worth. You've got plenty, but I never cut it off because I'm always afraid to waste it. So I make the bow right on it, and then I cut. And then that way, if you're not happy with the bow, you can just untie it and redo it. But actually, I'm thinking that one turned out okay. Okay, so I'll just cut. And then I attach my little bows like this with a mini glue dot. So I just stick it right on the glue dot, peel it away, and then stick it here. There we go. Card number 2. So if you like that, oh wait, I didn't do the best part. So if you like this one better than the last one, you can show me with a thumbs up or a like, or if you want to save that for the end, which is my favorite. Oop, come on. They're just flying around today. There we go, card number 2. Okay, I'm gonna clean up a little bit. I'll leave these 2 in your view. It's getting a little messy in here. Get my scraps all together. Get these all cleaned. Okay. All right, moving on to card number 3. All right, so check out this one. So this is one of those suites that I highly recommend you having the gold foil. Like you just need the gold accents. And hopefully I'm still live with you because it's looking frozen on this side. All right, I believe it's this one. Yeah, I think it's that one. But I can tell by the back. Oh, look, I'm wrong. It's not that one. So it must be this one. There we go. Okay, so if you're using the kit, it is the one with this on the background. Okay, and then, let's see. Yes, okay. All right, so I want to show you what I did in this. So, right, it looks like you have everything, but so check this out. So the gold foil, this is a little trick if you don't already know this. Because I'm going to be layering it with things on top, it won't be this, but just to show you, you're not going to see the interior of that. And so why waste all that gold foil? So what I did was I used the die cuts that are in this kit, and I just die cut out some extra hearts. So I love this heart and this heart, I think because they have the texture. So I cut out as many as I could on there. And we're gonna use those, some of them, I think, in a future card. All right. So to get started, let's go a little backwards here. I'll start with my large heart. So again, all these hearts are coming out of that bundle. And I'm gonna stamp the Love You. And this time I am using that cherry cobbler. I see a lot of you are popping on, but only Marge has said hi to me. It's kind of weird to like talk out into space and not know who's out there. All right. So, and I'm just going to stamp this up here. And then in the stamp set, there's also this textured flower, and then there is a die that matches it perfectly. Because this is a photopolymer set, I felt comfortable cutting that out first and then stamping it, because I'll be able to line it up pretty well. Not necessarily on camera, so I might pull it off camera. Yeah, I'm going to pull it a little bit closer to me, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. Let's see how I did. Yeah, there we go. And that's looking really dark, but it will lighten up as it goes. Oh, hi, Dolores. I know, isn't that such a great tip? You can do that with any of the designer series paper, but I tend to forget to do it on the designer series paper, but I never forget on the golds. All right, so let's start putting this together. So this is a regular card base, and then this goes down 1/4 inch, which means I'm going to have this go down 1/4 inch as well. And I'm going to do that same trick that I did before. So it's going to be a 5 inch by 3 3/4. So I'm actually going to cut off 1 inch. And this isn't something you have to do, but I feel like it just gives me better scraps. Okay, put that in my scrap pile. So then by 3 3/4. Okay, so you can see that is going to layer right over there, and you can't see those hearts at all. So now, here's the tricky part though. I've got to put the glue on here. Okay. Oh, and look, I should have tied that around first, but that's okay. We'll tie it around the whole thing. Okay, so Dolores, if you like this tip, here's another tip for saving, just saving your supplies. So I'm going to make it look like it's tied around when it's really not going to be. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on that side and a little bit of tape on this side. Now it's a little bit more labor intensive because sometimes it likes to fall off. And then look, I'm going to cut there and I'm going to do it again. So, you know, it saves you a few inches of thread, which when this thread is so beautiful and I use it on so many cards, I like to save as much as I can. There we go. And then you can play with it to be as spread out as you want. Oh, see what I mean by it being labor intensive? As soon as I started playing with it. And then if you're thinking, oh no, but is it going to stay on the card? Trust me, it does when you glue it down. In fact, I think I'm going to do that now. So I'm just going to put a little more glue on top, or a little more tape on top. And that's going to help. And then we're going to go around the sides. A little bit in the middle. Okay, so now on mine, it looks like I tied it around twice and did a bow. Nope. Just going to tie a bow here. Let's try that again. There we go. I'm just going to look at the size. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and then it's just time to start building. So I kind of like how my thread is spread a little bit there. So I think I'm going to move this over further than my other. And this is just another opportunity to get that thread stuck down. I haven't had any pop off yet, so I think we're okay. All right, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it looks like somehow I got a little bit of cherry cobbler, but that's okay because I can just move my hearts around. Like my original, it wasn't on that side. It was more over here. But see, I can just make sure that I'm covering that in some way. You're not really card making if you don't have ink everywhere. There we go, covered that right up. Okay, and now I'm going to attach that gold bow. I'm not sure if it's stuck to the gold bow or my finger. Oh, good, it was on the bow. There we go. It looks like that was completely meant. And then get my hearts out. Come on, little one, cooperate. There we go. Okay, there is card number 3. All right. So the last one is definitely my favorite. If you're getting the kit, you will have enough to make 5 cards. There was one, I gave you the supplies and I did a live with it a couple weeks ago, and you'll have the link and everything when you get the kits. But look at this one. So this is a fun fold. And as I've said before, I'm not sure if it's the fun fold that makes me really like it. I think I just like this piece right here, which is crazy because I bought it for the marbled, but I love this designer series paper, and I like how the tag just fits on there. So that's the one we're gonna make now. So let me get this kit. So you'll have a card base and then a mini card kits. I did do the scoring on this for you just because it fits in the card better and is better for shipping purposes. Oh, and look, here's one of those extra hearts that I cut out for you. So again, you'll have all 4 of them in there. So first step is we're gonna accordion fold this. Just like that. So it sits up there. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get the paper cut for it. So let me see. I know we're using this one, and that is going to go here. I'm just thinking about my measurements so that I don't mess anything up. I'm wondering if I actually use, this is one of those where I say it's different. Okay. All right, I'm getting to my measurements. Give me just a second. All right, so I'm gonna work on the mini card first. So we have this, we're gonna score it at 1 1/4 on the long side. So 1 1/4. Okay, and so this is your mini card that's going to go along the fronts. The most challenging part about this card is getting that spot glued on. Everything else will be really easy. All right, so now 5 1/4, 5 1/4. 2 3/4 by 4. Okay, and I want that to be up. So we're gonna do 2 3/4. I was just making sure that I'm cutting on this side because I want this. This is a directional one. 2 3/4 by 4. Well, that's definitely not right. Well, I'm glad that I am practicing this with you. So let me just make sure that everything is right so that everything on your rest of your card is fine. So 2 1/2, that part. Okay, we cut this part correct. It's my other part that I have wrong. So give me just a second. I am gonna fix that. Cherry cobbler, 2 1/2. So maybe it's 3 inches. Let's try that. All right, I'm just making my little mini card again. And now we're going to score it at 1 1/4. And now let's compare. Oh, brother, I still look wrong. All right, 3rd time's a charm. Are you sticking with me? Okay, 5 1/2. Is that what I cut it at last time? By 2 3, no, by 3. Scored at 1 1/4. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Whew. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, the good news is, if I can find it, it still means that the DSP that I cut is the correct. Yeah, that's the important part. That's the part we don't want to waste. Okay, so that is correct. All right, so now we're going to use the other side for this. And I'm just going to, since I made a mistake on that last one, I'm going to make sure I check and check and check. All right, so this should be 5 1/4 by 3. Five 1/4. And that is looking right. Okay, we'll just double check that. And that is correct. And then this other, now this is one of my scraps that I'm going to use. So this, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to 5 1/4. And I want it to be 3/4. So this is going to be a tight cut. All right, and of course, even this tiny piece, you'll see, like I used it in another card. It's amazing to keep those tiny little scraps. All right, we're gonna get all that glued down. And as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go fix that measurement on the tutorial and make sure all the kits have the right size. All right, so that looks like that. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start working on this mini card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp Be Mine. Look, I'm using almost every stamp in this for this set of cards. And this is going to be in Cherry Cobbler. And this one I am going to do towards the top because I'm going to build these flowers. All right, so you have all kinds of scraps in this one. And that is for you to do your flowers. So remember, we did the flowers. And then on this one, I'm actually going to do the stem too. So this set comes with 2 different stems. I'm using this one. All right, and so, oops, as I just stuck my finger in that ink, I'm gonna use Garden Green. Ooh, my table is a mess. And I'm gonna make 2 of them. Okay, and then there is a die cut. It's another one that's really easy to line up for that. And I do believe I have those already cut and prepped so that you don't have to wait on me. Okay. So here's the 2 flowers. Those were in Cherry Cobbler. And there is my 2 stems. So for these, I'm going to glue one of them just down in the corner. Right about there. And then I'm going to pop up a flower over it. Just want it to be a little bit further down. And then I'm going to glue this one up here, just a little around the edge. I'm going to kind of eyeball where this one's going to go. Yep, that looks about right. Move it down just a little bit so it's not covering that Be Mine. And I'm going to pop this one up as well. So it looks just like that. See, I don't know, there's just something about, I love that one. Okay, so now let's glue this on. And then we're gonna pop it up here. And I'm just going to center it. Okay, so now here's for the complicated part. I'm just going to get this scored really well, or whatever the name for this is. Get that laying as flat as I can. So the goal is that this is going to line up. Here's the part you don't want to do. You're not looking for this to fold here. It's actually going to be popping up. So it's going to be higher than your card, but don't worry, it still fits perfectly in a standard card envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my glue here. I'm going to do this part first because this is the easy part. Okay, and I'm just going to stand it up so that both sides match perfectly, and I'll hold that for just a second. Okay, so now, see how it wants to kind of rest naturally in there? That's not what you want it to do. You want it to be almost closed like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip this open, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of glue here, and if it leaks through, it's okay. We're gonna use white cardstock to kind of cover it up. Oops, sorry. Just give you a little bit of a shake there. Okay, and I'm gonna hold that for a second. All right, so now also in your kit with this, you have this, because how I picture this card working is like it's sitting on somebody's desk and everybody can see this side. And then this side is where you'll write your message. So remember how I said if your glue peeks through? Mine happens not to, but trust me, it has before. I'm gonna line this up right there so that nobody will see. Before I do that though, I am going to stamp just a flower on there. So I'm gonna use that cherry cobbler. Oops, not real red. Just down in the corner. And speaking of which, this is reminding me of one other thing we forgot to do on a card. I'm looking and thinking, why do I have an extra scrap? But I know why. So this is gonna get glued on the back. I'm gonna line it up right like that. Okay, so now finishing touches on this. I have a little heart that is just gonna get popped up right there. I think I'm gonna use a glue dot for that because I don't really want it to have any dimension. Okay, and then we're gonna make another bow with the ribbon. Okay, just like that. Where'd my scissors go? There they are. And then same thing, I always attach these with a glue dot. And I'm just gonna put it right over that hole that's in the tag. Okay. All right, so this one is my favorite. Oh, Carol, thanks. You'll get back into it. I know you will. You just got to have your forever home first. Okay, now back to this last card. See, in my sample, I had this, but we never made it in the live one. So that's why I have this extra scrap. So I am going to use that Hearts Cherry Cobbler again. And I always stamp before I glue. That way if I mess up, I've got another side I can use. All right, and then this is gonna get glued inside here, because if it's a dark cardstock, I tend to put white on the inside. If it's a light cardstock, I don't, because you can write right inside. All right. So those are the 4 cards that I made today. And I mean, you can see, look at how much. So this is all that came in your kit. I still have 2 full sheets. I have all these scraps. I still have these hearts. And I still have quite a bit of threads that you can make other cards. And of course, you'll have some scrap paper left over too. So let me just show them all to you again. Which one was your favorite? Oh, not that one. Here's the other one. And then in your kit, you will have the scraps to make a fifth one, and I believe I have it here. Yes, you'll have that, and then with, I've also, with those scraps, I made this card, and I made this fun fold too. All right, thanks so much. The Be Mine is your favorite, Carol? That one's mine too. Is it because of the fun fold or just because of how it looks? If I do have the link in the comments, if you would like to purchase this kit, it's $16 plus shipping if you need it shipped to you. And my next live will be on Tuesday, where I am showing you some celebration and new catalog and new online exclusives products. So join me for that. That's 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much for joining me.